What's up guys, this is James Blonde and I'm just picking mushrooms in Mortal Online. Some of you guys suggested I do a first look on this after I played Wizardry Online. So I did a little bit of research and we're going to do this a little different. This first look is going to be a little different than most, but first off, Mortal Online is a first-person hardcore sandbox MMORPG developed and published by a Swedish independent game company called Starvolt. And the game has actually been pay-to-play since it was released in mid-2010, only recently becoming free-to-play. Now, Mortal Online is a unique breed of hardcore sandbox MMORPG. The game features a massive open world, and it's inspired by Ultima Online in its player control design. So it leaves it up to the player to figure out what they want to do in the game. You don't start off with any sort of quest or anything like that. In fact, it's up to other players that are seeking out work to be done to create tasks or quests for other players to do for a set reward, obviously. Now, see, I'm picking mushrooms for this merchant. Who knows what he's going to do with these mushrooms, but he's going to give me a small amount of money to buy items, and that'll make it slightly easier for living in these harsh conditions. Now, I've obviously already created my character, and I'll show you the choices you have later on, but here we are. The game starts you out in this area and just basically lets you go and do what you want to do. You literally start off the game without anything, and you have to craft your own gear with no real sense of direction. There's not like a quest you just go pick up right away. Obviously, I already told you there's no quests. There is a very basic tutorial for the new players that sort of suggests what to do, and it's all part of the sandbox MMO experience. This one just happens to be hardcore, so you have those elements in the game you have to deal with. Now, I have to be honest with you, I had a hard time trying to figure out what I should be doing in the beginning, so I figured I'd work at making a little bit of money and crafting a weapon, just because hunting and harvesting are a major part of surviving and progressing in the game. So I take back what I said a minute ago about, not starting out with anything. You start out with a basic sword, and I can unsheath it by hitting X. And now I've learned how to swing my sword. I almost cut off my own leg, my scary looking legs. And I can swing high and low on my bed. I did not mean to hit you. Good thing he didn't try to attack me, because he can probably kick my ass. So, I'm actually going to use my sword as an axe right now. You can see that I'm chopping down this tree. It should take an approximate year to chop through this. And actually, I'll never chop through this. I'll just gather wood from it. But you can see from my inventory that I've already got a couple of them going on. So I've been doing this for a little while. It is a slow process, but the nice thing is I'm actually not having to do this every swing. I can click on it, it's starting to harvest, and I can actually tab out of this and do whatever I want to. Based on how hardcore the game is, I wouldn't recommend doing that at a higher level if you're worried about people just grabbing your stuff. And the reason I say this is because just like Wizardry Online, you can be killed and looted by other players, and players that attack and kill you of course get labeled as criminals. You can tell if a player has been labeled as a criminal if you tab over them and the little shield symbol above their head turns from blue, which is innocent, to gray. And the crazy part is not that they can kill you and loot you, it's what they can do to your corpse after they kill you. Players will be able to take your head, sell it, trade it, show it off, and your corpse can be butchered, cooked, and even eaten. And what's extra freaky is people may actually craft clothes from your skin. Yeah. It puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. Alright, so now that I've got my wood and a few other materials from a vendor, I'll try crafting a weapon or armor. Nope, just kidding. I don't have that skill yet. See, the game doesn't actually have a typical leveling system. It's a little bit more like the Elder Scrolls games in that it's all about the skills and attributes. There are two ways to learn new skills in the game, however. One by action, or two by reading skill books. The neat part is that there are some skills that you learn automatically when you do them, while others you still have to talk to a tutor or read a book. But be warned, just because you somehow find the money to purchase a book, because they're somewhat expensive, especially for early games, you may not be able to read it without progressing your reading skill. And just because you make a bow doesn't mean you know how to shoot it or even have the arrows for it in the first place. You have to purchase them from an arrow vendor. Because crafting is such a prominent part of the game, there are millions of different combinations of weapons, gear, or whatever items you want to make. You can almost use any of the materials you find to make whatever specific item you want. For example, you may choose to use the hide of an animal you hunted to make armor because it's both light and strong, and also cost effective. Or you may want to create a bow out of the various types of woods or bones you find, to change the way it functions. It may be lighter, heavier, shoot faster, whatever. There are no various levels to the materials you find, but they do have their own properties, like certain woods may be lighter or weaker than others, and the same goes for everything else. It's all trial and error, so you really have to learn what materials work for you in whatever situation you need them in. So it's kind of like, think a diamond pickaxe versus an iron pickaxe in Minecraft. Diamond is a lot harder to find, but it works a lot faster and it lasts much longer. And another skill you can learn is taming animals. As you can see, I'm trying to tame this dog, but this guy gets a little pissed off. Holy crap. What? It's not like it's your dog. Besides, it looks sick. You're not going to eat that, are you? Oh, alright. Because I kind of wanted to split it with you. Jeez, man, back up. Man, you better back up before I put an arrow in you. Oh, come on, man, I'm hungry, and I want a friend. Yeah, well, I can't get him to come to me anyway. My taming skill isn't high enough. Alright, since we've seen a little bit of the game, let's go ahead and check out the character customization. You start out by choosing the 4 different races, the Ogmir, Alvaran, Human, and Half-Breed. Here's a quick look at Alvaran. Here we'll choose the ancestry, and basically you're here to choose a culture. The Alvaran have 2, while other races have even more cultures to choose. For example, humans have 5 to choose from. Each culture has different attributes, of course, and you can read up on their background. There are no gender-locked races, and you can even change the size and stats of your character by changing the age. So I decided to go with the half-breed, and because it's a half-breed, it's already chosen my ancestry as Thursar, which is a half-orc, and so now I'll just choose my human side, and I think I'm going to go with this one because the name is cool, Sardukan. And the nice thing about the half-breed is it seems like they have pretty good stats based on that, so let's move on. Customization here, you can see your character, and we can go ahead and manipulate a little bit of her facial features. Let's start with the cheeks. We'll go ahead and move them up. Okay, so it kind of looks like she's squinting there. Alright, let's change that up a little bit. Eyes, make them, let's go with bigger. And the mouth, go ahead and change it. Mouth, ooh, no, smaller. Poofy lips, let's do that. Ears, let's make them a tiny bit bigger. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out this different skin types. Let's see here. One is, ooh, no, she looks like really old. Let's not do that. Gross. That's normal. Okay. Now what's 3? Ugh. Green and old, like an old 80-year-old alien or something, like a raisin. No, let's not do that. Okay, tattoos. That's weird. Let's take a look here. Actually, that's interesting. It almost looks like she already has tattoos on her face. So let's see. Oh, that's kind of cool. Looks like somebody scribbled on the side of her head while she was asleep. I like it. Let's do that. All right, facial hair. Okay, she doesn't have any facial hair, but I guess you still have the option for that. That would be for the male. All right. Good thing she doesn't have facial hair. She is half-breed, by the way. But she's not half Justin Bieber, so we're not going with that haircut. And now she looks like Sigourney Weaver, and I don't think there's any aliens in this game. Now it's getting interesting. Now you get to see the designs in her skin. That's interesting. All right, let's see here. Whoa! It's the old guy from Tekken. Yeah, that would be so strange to see out in public. I'm kind of tempted to do that one, but let's see what else we got. There it is. Yep. Girl with the dragon tattoo. We're definitely going with this one. So from what you can see, the game really isn't lacking on character customization. The game runs off the Epic Games version of the Unreal Engine 3, basically to provide the game with its look and feel, to make use of its first-person action combat, and as we can see here, some of the swimming aspects of the game, which are kind of awkward, to be honest. Overall, I can say that the game looks nice visually, but you can also see a lot of rough edges around some really nice-looking textures, especially when you get around some of the slopes or corners of buildings and whatnot. The best looking part of the game is definitely the distance shots. The landscapes are very impressive, and the lighting in the game isn't half bad. After all, the game has been graphically overhauled a couple of times. As for the game itself, I think that the game it doesn't push me along enough for me to play it for hours without a group of friends. But with that said, based on what others suggest doing to really progress in the game is to make a base character that's specifically used for crafting and gathering, etc. So that way you can trade these crafted items to your other characters, so that way you can focus on more in-game content. At that point, I think the game would actually be pretty fun to play. But then again, if somebody kills you, they can pretty much take your entire legacy. Yeah, that would probably end it for me. Now, despite the fact that the game still has plenty of bugs, even though it's been out for quite some time, I've really only scratched the surface on what the game's actually about. So, like always, you can find out more information about Mortal Online on the game profile at MMOHut.com, or check out their website, download the game, and try it yourself. Oh yeah, and you might want to check first to see if the full nudity is enabled in the launcher options. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I'm going to do something hardcore. It is now time to end my life. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.